This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. We welcome your calls, your comments, your questions. If you want to join the conversation, we invite you to do so by calling us at 347-857-3958. Again, that number here to the studio is 347-857-3958. Now, if you are sitting behind your desk at work and you'd like to see the beautiful faces that come through the airwaves to you every day from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, all you have to do is go to www.cruzandhughes.com. Click on the link right there in the middle of the page, and you can see the live stream, the live feed of Irv and I looking right into the camera as we give you information and education on how to improve your business footprint. Irv?
Yes, sir.
How was your day today, sir?
It was a great day. And you know what? I want to send out a special invitation. Those of you who are Android users, folks, don't forget you can take us with you every day. Just use your web-enabled mobile device to visit the Google Play App Store and search for our free Small Business Today Radio app. Just go to your Google Play Store, search on Small Business Today Radio, download and install the app. Take us with you everywhere you go.
How about yesterday's show?
Wow, is that guy plugged in the wall or what?
If you missed yesterday's show, I encourage you, we invite you, we demand that you go back to our archives and look up yesterday's date, which would be December 5th?
December 5th, that's right.
2012?
That's right. Listen, go look for Dr. Corey Hebert. He was on our show. Put in Corey Hebert, Cruz and Hughes, search those keywords.
Yeah.
And get your hands on yesterday's show. John, it was absolutely phenomenal.
He's an electric guy, very likable. He's from New Orleans. I've not ever met a person from New Orleans that I didn't like.
Man, what a great town.
I'm telling you.
It's a great town. And you know what? I love going to New Orleans for two things, and that's music and food.
You know what? Make that three things.
Make that three things.
You got to throw in some Jack Daniels.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were both about to divorce him yesterday. He started talking about.
He started skating on thin ice, but we should have knew that he wasn't going to say that. He's from New Orleans.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. He made me a little nervous. Started talking about Jack Daniels. I'm like, man, wait a minute. You're going to tell us not to drink Jack?
Hey, that's my uncle.
At least Gentleman Jack.
At least that.
Yeah, at least that.
Well, guys, you know what? We've come on that time of the year where it's time for everyone to start making promises that they intend to keep all year, but generally break within the first 6 days of the new year. And I am referring to resolution.
Oh, man, why do we do that?
It's human nature.
I guess, you know what? But it's part of our hoping for a better day. And we know that we're going to have to do something differently than what we've been doing.
We know that. But somewhere between knowing and doing, we sort of fall off the wagon. And as a business owner, we always intend on doing things better, especially as we approach this time of year. We're about to close our fiscal year for those of us who use December 31 as their fiscal year end.
Sure.
And we have these ideas that if I had done this, I could have had a better year, and I promise to do that in the new year so that I will have a better year. We're going to talk about a couple things that you definitely should change. I'm not a person on resolutions.
Well, I'm not either.
I mean, I believe in my resolution happens every day.
Yeah.
Because when I see that something is going along in the direction that it should not be going along, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, right then at that moment, I make the change, I shift gears, and I go in a different direction.
Well, that's exactly right. But you know what I call that? I call that adjust.
Yeah.
Some people call it failure. I call it redefined objectives.
Yeah, I love that. You adjust and re-execute.
That's exactly right. And so many people have bad attitudes about that. And, I don't know, John. I understand what we mean when we say resolutions generally as a people, perhaps as a culture. But the truth is, we already know. We know what
deep down.
That's what a resolution is. I think that's that thing that you really already know that you should be doing and hadn't been doing, and now you're going to resolve that in this coming year, in the future, I am going to execute those things.
I'm going to listen to that little voice inside of me that tells me what I should be doing, what I know to be doing.
That's right.
Well, why don't we start with delegation?
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that as a small business owner, we're going to give you at least 10 over the next hour. 10 things that you should resolve to do in your business for 2013.
Sure.
And the first one is delegation. I can't think of any person who runs any type of sizable entity that has not mastered the art of delegating.
And it's an art.
And we all want to grow in our business because we know the saying, if you're not growing, you're dying.
That's correct.
You have to grow. You have to evolve. You have to emerge. And for you to be able to grow your organization, the first thing that you have to be willing to do is delegate to your employees.
That's exactly right. And let me say this, too, with regard to delegation. Before you start down this path of delegation, boy, you better make sure that you've got some really good, sound principles that you can and I'm going to use the word impose on all those people who are going to be a part of your organization, because the truth is you can probably grow your business through delegation. You probably should be doing that, no doubt. But to bring people into your organization before you have very sound business principles and practices, policies that people need to follow, man, you can get in a world of hurt.
What do you think about, and you hear all these things, these new ideas and these new techniques that are being used. You got your vertical organization, and you got your horizontal organization, and you got some organizations where there's no management, no defined management.
Right.
And
we all manage.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, tell me, what is your favorite? As a person who's run and operated successful businesses, a person who's financed successful businesses.
Sure, absolutely.
What do you see as being the most successful type? And I know it's different for all industries.
Yeah, it does vary slightly. You're absolutely right. It varies slightly depending on the industry. But organizations that don't have clearly defined management, very, very tough to finance. And that's a tip for those of you who are thinking about a business model like that. Bankers and finance people don't like that. They want to know who is in charge of this.
Surely. So they like pecking order.
They like pecking order. They like hierarchies, because now we can say this is the president. This is not the co-president. This is not a co-chair. This is the chairman. So finance people like that kind of definition. Now, at the same time, that may not be the easiest thing on the planet to do in your particular organization, but someone has to assume that role, even if they're not so much that entitled.
Yeah.
And that's the point. And I think that's kind of what you were getting
Certainly.
at. Even if you're in an organization that may be horizontal in nature and not so much vertical, someone still has to have the responsibility of accountability for everyone that's participating in that particular association. I call those associations, by the way.
Okay.
Where you have a business that's built in an associative format. And what I mean by that is that everybody may be reasonably autonomous, like you do in a limited partnership, for example.
Okay.
You might have a limited partnership structured where you got 8 or 9 companies participating in it.
Right.
Well, they're all reasonably autonomous, but
Certainly.
you know what? They're working together toward a common goal. And somebody has to be responsible for the group, the collaborative.
Well, and as you would explain that, now I'm about to get scientific, and I have no academic reason to try and get scientific, but I'm going to do it anyway.
All right.
It's just when we look in the world out here, an ecosystem exists.
Right.
But then as you drill down smaller into microorganisms, an ecosystem exists.
Still.
And then when you drill down smaller to the atom, an ecosystem exists.
Still.
So even those companies, as you put it, that may be working autonomously,
Yeah.
and independent of the whole, they still have a pecking order. I think that's what you're saying. They
exactly
still have an accountability structure.
That's exactly right. And that's really the key. And that's what I mean by getting at the crux of it, John. And what you're saying is so true. No matter the structure, there is an accountability that has to be present, or you don't have an organization. Now you have anarchy.
Yeah.
Now you have rogue people deciding they're going to do whatever they're going to do. Now they've forgotten the common goal. They've trashed the mission to serve their own, and now you just have anarchy.
Irv and I are talking about small business New Year's resolutions, although he and I both aren't pro-resolution.
Right.
We believe in making changes today, not waiting for a date on the calendar, but it is that time of year where we sort of reflect on the year and we prepare ourselves for the upcoming year. This is a good time for you to consider 10 things. And right now we've discussed delegation, and under that, a subtopic of that I love that you brought out. You have to have some level of accountability
Absolutely.
there in your hierarchy.
Absolutely, because you're going to get in trouble if you don't.
Okay. I think we ought to save the rest for when we come back from the break.
The rest.
I do want to say that again, if you missed yesterday's show, we encourage you to go to our website, www.cruzandhughes.com. You can go through the archives through Blog Talk. You can find yesterday's show. We had Corey Aber on the show. He is a nationally recognized physician. He is a contributor to the Dr. Oz show. He's on there at least once a month or so. We had a great show with him yesterday, and his website is blackhealthtv.com.
Right.
Definitely want to check it out. Guys, more in a moment with Irv and John. This show is brought to you by the magazine that we always talk about, smallbusinesstodayMagazine.com. Go there, put your information in. We'd be glad to send you a copy to your email inbox every single month. We'll be right back after these messages.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruiseandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irv and I are talking about small business resolutions, and we're talking about not the resolutions that are in your corporate record book. We're talking about those New Year's resolutions.
That's right.
It's that time of year where we always reflect on what happened in the past 11 months, and then we sort of forecast what we anticipate to happen over the next 12 months. So we're giving you 10 good points for you to consider in your business model. Now, I started it out with delegation.
That's right. And John, I want to talk about point number 2, and that is promote your business regularly.
You know what? I believe that there are too many small business people who are virtually secret agents.
Yeah. Secret agents?
They walk around with no business cards.
Wow.
They have no marketing materials. Wow. You see the guy at the marketing, at the networking events.
That's right.
I'm fresh out of cars.
Right.
I just ordered some more.
Right. Yeah. But every time he's done.
Every time.
Yeah.
And when an opportunity presents itself for some small business people to step up and say, hey, I provide this product or service, they sheepishly don't step up.
They don't step up. And here's the thing, folks. We talk about on this show, John, and I know you know this, is that we talk about evangelism.
Yes.
And don't panic, folks. We're not talking about finding religion and all that. We're talking about being passionate about your product or service or your business to the point that your enthusiasm is now infectious.
Right.
And now in a positive way. And now other people are drawn to want to know more about your business, what it is you do, how you do it, how you differentiate yourself from everyone else in your space. And you got to get to a place where you're doing that regularly. It's not something you have to think about. It just becomes a part of you. It's how you live. It's
That's right.
You carry it with you. Promotion is something that you get in the habit of and you internalize it. And promotion, really, John, in my estimation, when you're a small business, is just my opinion. It's Irvism right here. I really believe you need to live it.
Yeah.
Where your lifestyle, and all that you are is a promotion.
And I know how contrary and how conflicted we can feel as individuals when we're taught our entire life to be humble.
Sure.
You don't be boastful.
Sure.
You're taught to be unassuming.
Right.
But we live in a society where it's a me first society.
Yeah.
And as you run your business, you have to be a little braggadocious about what you do and how you do it. I mean, you have to take market share.
That's right. And the key word there is take it.
That's right.
Yeah, you have to take it, because if you don't, there's plenty of people who will.
Plenty of people that are.
That's exactly right.
And so we're trying to get you from the back of the line at least to the middle part of the line, and you have to do it with self-promotion. You got to talk about who you are, what you do, why you're the best, why you're faster, better, cheaper, whatever the case may be. You have to self-promote. And besides, if you're doing something that you're embarrassed to talk about, you're probably in the wrong business.
That's right. You should stop doing that. So let's talk about that, though. That's a good segue into point number 3, John, talking about planning.
Yes.
I mean, one sure way to get into trouble in your business is start doing things that you didn't plan for.
Yes.
Success, folks, is simply not an accident. There are things that can help you that may be serendipitous in nature, but the truth is there needs to be a plan, something that helps promote you, something that you're comfortable with in your business model, in the promotion, the marketing, the people you're trying to reach. Why are you trying to reach those people? What has prompted you to want to reach out to that particular market space, and so on? And all of that is part of a plan.
One of the first things that I ask any business owner as I'm advising them in improving their processes or trying to attract money from investors,
sure,
or bank financing, as it were, I ask them, how often do you meet with key personnel?
Wow, that's a biggie.
How often?
Yeah. Well, you're supposed to meet at least weekly.
At least
weekly.
Once a week.
Oh, no doubt. And
some people would say this, though, and I hold your thought for me for 1 second. What do you say to the person who says, well, I only have one employee and that's just me?
Yeah, meet once a week. Yeah, that means stop everything.
Right.
Stop the phone.
Yeah.
Just take an hour.
Yes.
And meet.
And figure out where you are.
Absolutely.
Where you're headed.
Absolutely.
Put something together.
Put something together. I don't care if it's because I've started companies where it was just me. And let me tell you what, John, I would meet with me.
As if you didn't, it would still be just you.
It would still. That's exactly right.
So meeting with key personnel, you buy into that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You have to do that because, I don't know how you operate a business. And I'm not talking about necessarily growing the business, John. I'm talking about I don't know how you successfully operate without meeting with your key people.
I don't either. And how do you know what they're doing? How do you know what the plan of the day is? I thought I wanted to be a Navy man.
Yeah. Okay.
And I spent a little time in ROTC, but I never joined the Navy.
Well,
but one of the things I did appreciate was that we had a plan of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And officers would sit down and they would talk about what their strategy was, what they anticipated to get done that day.
Sure.
Now, I'm not saying that you got to sit down with your personnel every single week. There are times when people are going to be out of town working on deals, making sales calls, handling business issues. However, you should be sitting down weekly to discuss what your goals are that you want to achieve, what major problems that you're faced with that you want to solve. And that has to be done through regular meetings.
That's exactly right. And you know what? It's interesting you bring that up about the Navy. Mine was Army. Sorry.
Okay.
But, we had something called pre-flight. Every day we had pre-flight. And guess what? Superiors would come in and they would say, these are today's objectives. These are today's missions.
Right.
Here's what our intel has brought us for these missions.
Right.
And an interesting word, intel. We're talking about intelligence now. This is information that's come in from the marketplace as a result in business, as a result of research that perhaps you have done, preferably you've done, on your own, or information that's come in and now you're organizing that information into what we call intelligence, meaning that information now has been molded into something meaningful and useful.
Now, if you're using the word pre-flight, you mean to tell me that were you jumping out of planes or something?
I ran out of the back end of perfectly good aircraft for no apparent reason.
Why?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I don't know. That's because
it sounds fun. Though.
I was 18 and they told me to, but I did find out that being a paratrooper was like the most fun you could have with your clothes on.
Is that right?
That's exactly right.
I'm going to tell you something. The first time I jumped out of an airplane was because my brother had given me a good recommendation for the same thing. He was up at Fort Benning, did his jump
school,
and he said, "John, there's nothing more exhilarating than watching the plane that carried you up fly off without you."
One of the one things for sure, it'll build your faith.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
All right, now we've let's just recap very shortly. We've talked about a few things. We're talking about small business New Year's resolutions, things that you should be doing right now in your business. As your business winds down, most small businesses go with a fiscal year end that matches the calendar year, and it's a time for reflection. It's a time to look at where you've come over the past year and take that information and that intelligence and forecast what needs to be done in order for you to either achieve the same level of success, to hold ground, or more importantly, I hope, is to grow your outfit and have a bigger year next year than you've had this year. And some of the things that we've covered already is delegation.
That's right.
With a subtopic of
you got to be accountable.
You got to be accountable. You got to have accountability in your organization. Yep. So you got delegation with a subtopic of accountability. We talked about promoting your business regularly. You have to become an evangelist for what you do. There's no excuse for you to walk into a room where you meet regularly with people that are in the same industry or at least the same networking group, and everybody in that room does not know what you do.
That's absolutely true.
You got to be an evangelist for yourself and promote yourself. And then we've talked about planning.
That's right.
Weekly meetings.
Planning.
Meeting with key personnel.
That's right.
So you want to take care of all three of those things. Now, what does that bring us up to?
That brings us up to number 4. Update your business plan.
What business plan?
What business plan? Let me look, John, look, folks, don't listen to what John just said, talking about what business plan. Now, look, for those of you who have a business plan, I'm not talking just to you. All right. I'm talking to those of you who would say, what business plan? All right. You need a business plan.
It was around here somewhere. I had it back in February. I don't know where I put it.
If your business plan is collecting dust, you have a problem. All right. You're supposed to look at that thing and you're supposed to adjust it as your company grows, develop, market conditions change. Things change, folks. Your business plan needs to be adjusted with it.
You know what? When you say things change regularly. They change in your industry. They change in your local community that affect the way we do business. And those changes, they have to be mentioned in your plan. You have
Absolutely.
to figure out how you're going to stay relevant to your customer. Updating that business plan is essential. Irv, it's one of the things that we talk about the most on this show, but I think it also is probably the thing that's the most overlooked.
Oh, no doubt. And let me tell you what, folks, when we're talking about changing the business plan, there are two elements that are going to constantly change in that business plan. One is the growth plan, and the other one is the marketing plan. It's vitally important. Now, these are components of the overall business plan, but it's vitally important that you pay attention to your growth plan, and that is your projections. How many times have you listened to something on television, some large company, and they say, we've announced higher than expected profits? What do they mean by that? Higher than expected or lower than expected? The point is they expected.
That's right.
They planned for that, so they knew exactly where they were going to be. And then the marketing plan, of course, you need to adjust that as market conditions change, new opportunities come in and go away. So your business plan needs to absolutely be a living document. So guess what? When we come back, we got number 5 for you. And you absolutely want to grab your pen for 5 through 10 because John and I are going to rapid fire list those for you, okay? You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. When you need credit help, and some of you do, get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. More in a moment.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. We've been talking about the New Year's resolutions for small business. It's that time of year, people. You know, we always do it. We say we're going to go to the gym. I'm going to cut back on carbs. You know, and what else do we say? We're going to stop drinking sodas. We're going to be nicer to my children. I'm going to stop kicking puppies. I'm going to, you know, all these things that we say we're going to do. And then 10 days into the new year, and we just stay our old selves.
No animals were harmed during the recording of this show.
But, you know, we did have an interesting conversation with our producer, Stephen K., during the break. And he talked about people. There are people out there who are successful in spite of themselves. There are people out there who've never written a business plan. There are some people out there who are doing well in business that don't know how to put together a business plan.
Well, that's true. You know what? There are some people who are a fortunate few, John, who I believe are talented enough. They have enough ingenuity.
Yeah.
They have enough
stick-to-itiveness.
They have enough I call it, they have Velcro in the palms of their hands. They know how to stick to something and wrestle it to the floor until they get it the way they want it.
Yeah.
But that is a very fortunate few people.
Certainly.
And so, you know, when we're talking about this, folks, we're talking about the masses. We're talking about the broad scope, the big part of the bell curve, if you will, of people who really do need to have better structure than that to be successful.
I want to give a piece of advice.
Sure.
If you don't know how to write a business plan and you don't know how to make a business plan relevant to your business and or your product, do this year, please. Find yourself a SCORE office, and whatever industry you're in, generally, like the Houston SCORE office has, I think, 60 or 70 different consultants that work in that SCORE office with varied amounts of experience.
Now, John, before you go farther, what is SCORE? Because there are people who have never heard of SCORE.
A SCORE office is called it's an acronym, and it means the Service Corps of Retired Executives. It's a nonprofit organization, and they are focused and designed for helping small business people. And one of the things that SCORE representative will do is pair you with someone who's in a like industry or a similar industry, if not the same industry that you're in. So if you're in medical sales, chances are you can find a SCORE office that has someone who has been in medical sales and probably retired with 30 to 40 years experience. Please do this year in 2013, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what your progress has been. Sit down with that individual and give yourself a month with their assistance to work out getting a business plan on paper, and tell me if it's helped your business. I'm interested in knowing. There's another office you can go to as well.
Yeah. Now, I want to make sure to be clear because there's a question that came up in the chat room just now about score.org. Is that the website?
That is the website. It's score.org. And generally, if you're in Houston, I know it's scorehouston.org.
Right.
But the overall website is score.org. And it's a great place to start. Not the place for you to finish, but it is a great place for you to start and at least get your business plan and your thoughts on paper.
Sure.
Executable steps.
So I was going to say that. Executable steps.
I'm always stealing your glory.
You've got to have executable steps, folks, because if you don't have executable steps, by the way, in a business plan, executable steps are called milestones. Right. You got to have a milestones table, because one of the things that investors, bankers, all finance people, including yourself, by the way, because you're going to be the first investor, the milestones table in the business plan is the path to your success. It tells people, the reader, that you understand what those executable steps need to be for you to reach profitability, and that's important.
And I tell you what, when you sit down with a banker, you sit down with an investor, all you have to do is give them a copy of your financials and a copy of your business plan, and he or she can tell you if you're on target, if you're falling behind, if you're doing better than expected, because those two documents should be speaking, or those group of documents should be speaking and telling your story without you saying a word.
That's exactly right.
Before we move on, SBDC, what do you think about them?
Love SBDCs. Look, folks, generally SBDCs are associated with your local area colleges and universities.
Right.
So guess what? That's where you can go and get some really practical information about like, for example, putting together the financials, the financial tables.
Right.
SBDC are more of a training arm where you want to go get formal training from the people who are doing that kind of work. BDCs, and those are small business development centers. They also have something called PTACs, and those are procurement and technical assistance centers. And let me tell you what, folks, those places are there. Compliments of your taxpayer dollars, by the way.
Use them.
Use those folks to get yourself on a good set of rails.
This is no cost.
No.
I mean, SCORE does it for free. They help you for free.
Right.
SBDCs help you for free or very, very nominal amounts of money.
It's either free, 35, 20, or $50. So there you go.
And I tell you, it's a great place to start. Now, at some point, once you've grown your business to, a certain size and you reach that slippery slope that you and I always talk about,
right.
when you're at $1 million in revenue, then you may need some specialized guidance and counseling. And we'll talk about that on other shows. But at least for now, if you don't have a plan, start there. Make a commitment to yourself. Now, small business New Year's resolutions, we're up to number... Was it?
Well, we're number 5.
Okay.
That's learning something new. How about that, John?
Learn something new.
How many people don't want to know more than what they know?
I think everyone does.
It just. How can you not want to know more than what you know? I don't understand it. If you're in business, folks, and whatever you've learned, let me put it this way. Whatever you've learned, folks, has gotten you to where you are. And if you're not quite where you think you should be, guess what? Learn something new.
You better, because you can't make it on today's knowledge.
That's right. Today's knowledge got you to where you were.
Right, but it won't get you to where you're going to be.
No, absolutely.
So learning something new. One of the things that you mentioned earlier in the show, you talked about intel.
Absolutely.
And I believe that as a subtopic of learning something new, spend some money on some market research.
Absolutely.
And even if you don't spend money, Irv, there's some places where you can go and get free stuff.
Absolutely. And let me tell you what, folks, let me just tell you, if you want to do research, government agencies, trade associations, colleges and universities gather tons of market data. By all means, dig into those places. Hey, and like we learned yesterday from Dr. Hebert, hey, contact the biggest, baddest, awesomest university in your area and ask them for some help.
Yeah, what do you know? How can you help me out? I mean, the thing is, in this day and age, there is no excuse for not knowing.
No, it really is.
Period. It just isn't.
It just
learn something new or hire somebody that knows something new, but you're going to have to know more today than you did yesterday. And trust me, you're going to have to know more tomorrow than you knew today. It's the society that we live in. It's time for you to evolve. There's lots of market research and data that you should be using in. One of the things that surprises me most is when I read a business plan for a small business person and they have all this market research and data and these numbers in there, and I asked them, where was this information gathered?
Right.
And they told me that they did their own study.
No, that doesn't work, folks.
That doesn't fly.
that doesn't work.
I mean, and who are you again?
That does not work. Look, folks, when you do market research, okay, you need to, first of all, if you put it in your business plan, you need to source it. That's number one. You need to source, and that's define the source where you got that information, and make sure you get information from credible resources, okay? Don't get information from incredible resources, but
incredible.
But you don't want to get information from.
You don't want incredible information.
You don't want incredible information. You want credible information. All right.
That's hilarious.
All right. How about number 6, John?
Join a new business organization or networking group. I think that sort of goes along with promoting your business.
Yep.
We're doing a few things that are calling for you to step outside of your shell.
That's right.
And joining a new business organization, I don't know what organization exists in your industry, but I always revert to what I know, which is very little.
Right.
But I'm going to talk about the real estate industry.
Okay.
Or I was a mortgage banker.
Sure.
You know that there were so many mortgage companies at the time that I was in the business.
Right.
But when we would have the mortgage banking meetings, I think there was something around in the neighborhood of about 800 or 900 mortgage companies just in the Houston area during that time.
I can believe it.
But when I would go to the mortgage banking meetings, there'd be like 150 people represented.
Wow.
Join a trade organization. That's how you find out what's happening in your industry, in your business community. Join a new networking group. Give me a networking group.
Oh boy, from where?
Toastmasters.
Toastmasters.
Join that. It's a great way.
The Main Street Chamber.
The Main Street Chamber
West
of
Houston
Commerce.
Chamber.
The West Houston.
I mean, we can go on.
We can go on. I mean, join these organizations. Meet other people doing innovative, creative things. Get out of the boiler room of your business and start meeting some people that can help you direct and take your organization to another level.
And you know what else, folks? Join organizations that your customers belong to. Hello.
Good point.
If your customers, if you're serving a particular industry or group of people and you've been able to identify these are my customers, go join that group. You don't have to be, if you serve engineers, for example, you may not be an engineer, but a lot of these trade organizations will allow you to join under an affiliate membership or some scaled down level of membership so that you can get access to those folks, when you need to.
When we come back, we're going to have to put a little go fast in this.
Little go fast?
A little go fast.
I like that. Do we need a tall can or a short can of go fast?
Let's open up a tall can.
Open up a tall can of go fast. You don't want to miss that.
Stick around.
Stick around. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by DirecTV. Listen, with over 285 channels and NFL Sunday ticket packages start at just $29.99 a month. Sign up today at 888-344-9296. Back in a moment.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show. 10 small business New Year's resolutions for you to implement on January 1st. Or you know what, if you're like Irv and myself, to implement tonight at 5:30 p.m.
right.
or 6:30 p.m. or whatever time it is in your place of the world. Now, we left off with number 7, and we want to say, Irv, that next year is a great time for you to think bigger than you ever have before in your life.
That's right, folks. An old saying is think big and keep it simple.
Think big and keep. Now, you know, that's tough to do.
It is tough to do.
Because we overly complicate things.
That's right. We just do.
We think all this minutia has to be present for success to be there.
That's right.
But it really isn't. And I think Corey gave a great example of that on yesterday.
That's exactly
Dr. Hebert, he needed credibility for his website, and he needed a huge academic partner. He needed an 800-pound gorilla.
That's right.
And where did he go?
Harvard.
Man, the audacity of that guy.
I want to write to Harvard because they're going to help me.
And you know what? He didn't write to anybody else.
No, he didn't.
He waited on them to respond. And they said yes.
Did you detect that? Because I was stunned, first of all.
I wrote one letter.
I wrote one letter because that was the letter I needed to write.
Think like that in your business. 2013, it's a great time for you to go after the big fish. Do not sit there hungry with a loaf of bread under your arm. Go after the big accounts. Go after the big companies. Show up at the meetings. Think big. Do something big.
Right.
Get off your butt.
Right. And just keep going until somebody tells you you're in the wrong place.
And then go in a different direction.
And then go in a different direction.
But keep going.
That's right. And so we're on number 8 now. Number 8. Conflict. How about that one? John, let me tell you, folks, when you're in a small business, you're going to have, and we try not to talk too much about this, but it's a part of the deal. Conflict. Handle conflict head on. Don't run from it. Don't stick your head in the ground. Don't turn around and act like it didn't happen. Deal with it head on.
Let me tell you something. If you are an unsuccessful person, an unsuccessful entrepreneur, there are several reasons why you are. Stop doing that.
That's right. That's good.
That simple.
It's that simple.
And handling conflict, most people are afraid of conflict.
Right.
The toughest calls that they need to make when it's time to tell a customer that an order didn't come in, a price has to go up, they wait so long that now the blow of that call is exacerbated.
That's right.
By no response.
That's right.
Lack of communication.
Right.
Poor customer service.
Right.
And these are the things that take down every great business.
That's right.
Handle that conflict head on.
Absolutely. And you know what? With handling conflict and customer service issues, you know what? Empower your employees to do that. And make sure you make them confident that they can do that without suffering serious consequences. Make sure that they understand that they're going to be supported because the effort was made to resolve the issue so that you didn't have to do it. And that's part of delegation, which was, incidentally, if you weren't listening, it was point 1.
Absolutely. You know what? And I'm going to tell you, Irv is just, I mean, you're dropping so many golden nuggets today. I want to make certain that you understand the importance of what he just said. You have to give your staff the authority to make customers happy. There's nothing worse than when I go into a business and I have a bad experience and then someone tells me I'm going to have a manager call you. And then a couple days later, nothing. Your opportunity as a business person was to take advantage of that right now, show the customer exactly how important they are to you, and that it's the culture in your organization that every person makes the customer happy.
Absolutely. And John, that brings us to number 9.
Number 9 is be a go-giver.
Be a go-giver. What is a go-giver, John? I know you're going to tell us.
First of all, Go-Giver is a great book. You should go buy it and read that book. Become a giver. You know, there are a lot of businesses that I've met in the past that don't exist today that were very guarded.
Yeah.
And how they did things.
Sure.
You know, they didn't give enough of themselves. They didn't give enough to the community. They didn't share information.
Sure.
We're in the information age. Become a giver. What are you doing as an organization to improve this planet, to improve your city, your state, your industry? What are you doing? Who are you helping? Why do you exist? And it's not just to serve hot sandwiches. It has to be more than that.
Sure, exactly right. You made me think about in the auto industry with regard to patents and intellectual property that people create to make automobiles safer.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of collaboration and trade-offs go on between companies who are going to compete against each other in the marketplace, but they all know that we really need to help each other make a safer automobile, because if we do things that kill all of our customers, that's not good for any of us. And so they actually share very valuable intellectual property, whether it's braking systems or steering systems. You hear about, the Cadillac division of General Motors sharing their braking systems with Mercedes-Benz. Right. Or Mercedes-Benz sharing some of their steering intellectual property for better handling of an automobile at high rates of speed with American automakers.
Yeah,
I mean, that's good stuff.
And the press that you get. For doing things like that. Why do you think there's so many large organizations? I mean, even Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs has this initiative, 10,000 small businesses, and they have went and tapped the brains. I think I can't think of the name of the college that they're using. I want to say Babcock, but I could be wrong. But they've tapped this organization, one of the top business schools in the country, and they're giving that information freely to small business people. What are you doing? Whose life are you impacting? How are you changing things? Put that on your list for 2013, and I promise you it's going to come back to you.
That's absolutely correct. And, and the bottom line is here, in this instance, you can't give enough, quite frankly, that you won't receive a return. You have to have a return. When you give, you have to have a return. You have to. That's a law. It's a law of reciprocity. You're going to get when you give, you're going to get back though what you give out. So make sure you give out good.
Well, I'll tell you what. And with that being said, if we go back to learning something new, one of the books, Irv, you and I continue to say this, and we have not done it.
I know it. I know what you're going to say.
You already know what I want to say. We have a laundry list, a litany of business books that have really shaped how we do business and have helped develop us as businessmen outside of any business classes, business courses, and those types of things. But as you put it, when you talk about those things where you're giving and you're going to get, being a go-giver, another book you got to read.
What's that?
You got to read Napoleon Hill's book. Oh. If you haven't read it, you have to read it this year. And if you've already read it, you should make certain that you
read it again
at least twice in 2013.
Read it again, folks. I'm going to tell you. And let me tell you what, with that said, John, some of these books, with the wisdom of the sages in these books, when you reread these books, I promise you, folks, you'll be stunned at how they've rewritten the book since the last time you read it.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
Or maybe it's just how you comprehend it.
I think maybe that's what it really is. But it just seems like I don't remember seeing that before.
Because your mind has been tenderized at this point. You can receive it.
Yeah, it didn't hit me like that before. Folks, when we come back, we're going to hit on point number 10, so don't you go away. You don't want to miss number 10 of our top 10 resolutions for 2013. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Ring Central. To get Ring Central's virtual PBX for your business, you can call them today at 888-716-5022. Don't go away. We're in the home stretch. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, Tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
All right, welcome back to the show. Irv and I have been talking for the last hour for our top 10 business resolutions for the new year going into 2013, things that you should be focused on as you move your business ahead going into the new fiscal year. We're at the last one.
That's right.
Irv?
Well, schedule more time for your family. Now,
what does that have to do with my business?
I know that a lot of you are going to say, well, with all this list of stuff you guys give out on Cruz and Hughes, how am I going to have time for my family? You are going to make time for your family. You are going to schedule time for your family because you are going to spend some time with the people who are supporting you.
You know what? And life balance, in my opinion, is true success.
It absolutely is true success. And, you know, we talk on the show a lot of times about all the things that you need to do, but that's why you need to go back to number one and delegate, folks, so that you do have control. Buy some of your time back. The truth is, some of you got into business. I got into business because I wanted to buy back control of my time. And I would guess that many of us who are in business, John, were hoping to be able to do that very same thing.
Yes, and I know how it is when you get into business. You have to put in more time than you actually get back at first.
Sure.
But the whole point is that you want to keep this type of list ever present in your mind, because the goal is, as Irv said, number one was delegate, and then the last point of the day was to take that time, let your staff do what they're good at, and dedicate some time to your family. I mean, you've built this great organization. Share the fruits. Enjoy what you've done.
That's
and
right.
do it with the people who love you most.
That's exactly right. And then probably a tag onto that, John, as we close out, make some time for yourself, folks.
Absolutely.
Make some time for yourself. Don't forget you in this process.
Have I mentioned how much I love me some me?
Yeah, I know you hadn't mentioned it, but I can tell by looking.
I love me. And I love you too, guys, and we really respect and honor the fact that you spend your time with us and you listen to this show to get the tips that Irv and I share with you every day, Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. Until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
And Irv and I will see you tomorrow.